I'm Miss Nancy, and I'm here with Grow with Miss Nancy, and I am so glad to see you again. We are still studying the book of Acts, and we're still in chapter 9. And if you remember last week, we talked about the fact that Saul had been converted on the road to Damascus. Remember, he was going to arrest all those people that believed in Jesus that he could find in Damascus. And then Jesus stopped him and told him, no, you're not. I've got a plan for your life. And Ananias prayed for him, and Saul could see, and he believed. He knew then that Jesus was the one that God had chosen to come down to earth and be the Messiah. When Saul realized this, he started preaching to the people in Damascus and preaching about Jesus. Well, you can imagine that at first the people thought, oh my goodness sakes, is he faking it? And then they realized he was preaching stronger and stronger and stronger. And he was so convincing that people were believing in Jesus that maybe wouldn't have before. But there were still some people in Damascus who were Jewish leaders that thought, he's now saying what we don't believe, because they didn't understand about Jesus and they didn't believe yet. And so there were some people who were wanting to kill Saul. Now it's a turnabout. Instead of him going after other people are going after him. And his friends needed to get him out of there. Now back then, for protection, cities had walls around them with a big gate, and you came in and out through the gate. If those folks were watching the gates, how was Saul going to get away and not be arrested himself? Do you know how they got him out of there? His friends put him in a great big basket and tied a rope to the basket and lowered him over the wall in the middle of the night, and he escaped that way. And he went back to Jerusalem. Now, let's stop and think. They didn't have TV back then. They didn't have telephones back then. So there was no quick way to let the people in Jerusalem know that he was now converted and he was a believer in Jesus. So the Jewish people who were believers in Jesus were kind of scared of, here comes Saul, and now he's saying he's a believer, and do they believe that? And could he be faking it? And could he be doing that just to try to arrest them? But Saul's preaching in Jerusalem was so strong. The people realized, you know what? He truly is a believer. He truly is wanting people to understand about Jesus. And because his preaching was so strong, there were some Jewish leaders, maybe friends of his from before, that wanted to get rid of him. So the believers that were in Jerusalem had to sneak him out of Jerusalem, and they sneaked him to Caesarea, which was a town away from there, and then they sent him to Tarsus, his hometown, just to keep him safe. You know, that's how it is sometimes, that we need God's protection. And the truth is, do you remember how we are told by Jesus in one of his commands that we are to worship him even in the hard times? That's what we're supposed to do. And you know, if you're having a tough time, if things aren't going your way, if you've been sick or somebody in your family is sick, or maybe your family's having a hard time, worship God even in those hard times. Praise him even though you don't feel like praising him, because he's going to protect you and he's going to protect your family. All you got to do is believe and trust him. Well, I wonder what the morning show with Jacqueline has to say about that. What do you think? Let's listen in, okay, and see what they have to say. I'll see you next week. Bye.